What's up, guys? Mr. Lee Raven here with episode number 2 of the unemployment challenge. As you can see on screen now, it has not gone according to plan whatsoever. I was going to do 11 games. I did go on a little bit further, mainly because of that, basically. I had been in a precarious position for job-wise for about 3-4 weeks, due to the fact that I think I've gone on a 9-game winless run from about mid-September, which is quite annoying. So we'll go into the details I normally would have shown you guys anyway. So let's have a look. Where am I going? Where am I going? If I could find them, I would. There we go. Transfers. So I brought in 3 players: Richard Jackson, right back; Junior Canadu, central midfielder; and Phil Midworth, a right back, but he can play anywhere across the defence. I needed cover at the back, to be fair, because we weren't that great. It's not made much of a difference, as you can see, to be quite honest. So that's good times, basically. So we'll go into the fixtures now. We'll see how badly it was. It didn't start that badly, to be fair. As you can see here, I drew 1-1 at home to Boston. Phil Jevons scoring in the 13th minute to put us in front. Peter Boyle equalising for Boston in the 73rd minute. This match stats, it was 20 shots to 5 in their favour, 11 on target to my 3, and they had 55% of the possession. I notched up my first win of the season at Workington, 3-2. Joe Jackson put Workington in front in the 8th minute. However, a mad 15 minutes with Amma Verman putting us 1-1. Then Christian Dennis in the 39th minute made it 2. 60 seconds later, it was 3-1 to us. We went in 3-1 at half time. Ben McKenna did pull one back for Workington with 4 minutes to go, but it wasn't enough, as we left the game with 3 points. 10 shots each, 6 shots each on targets, and they had 53% of the possession. I then notched up another win, 4-3 at Altrincham. Phil Midworth put us 1-0 up in the 4th minute, and then less than 10 minutes later, Ian Howard made it 2-0. But 60 seconds after that, though, James Walshaw pulled one back from Altrincham. On the half-hour mark, Aman Verma put us 3-1 up. 4 minutes later, however, Lewis Hawkins pulled Altrincham level. Pulled it to 3-2. We went in a half-time 3-2 up. On the hour mark, James Walshaw got his second of the game to make it 3-0. But with 8 minutes to go, Kieran Charnock gave us the decisive lead, and we got our second win in a row. 16 shots to 14 in my favour. I had 11 on target to their 9, and they had 55% of the possession. We then suffered our first defeat of the season at home to Colwyn Bay. Christian Dennis pulled us level after Cameron Darkwell goal in the 16th minute. Dennis equalised for us in the 18th minute. 24th minute, Darkwell put Colwyn Bay back in front. 7 minutes before half time, Ed Moss penalty put Colwyn 3-1 up. And then with 10 minutes into the second half, Christian Dennis did score to put a 3-2. However, we weren't able to pull it back to level terms. Stats-wise, 16 shots to 8 in their favour. They had 9 on target to my 5 with 54% of the possession. We then won what would be the last league game of this season with a 2-0 win at Harrogate. Konodo put us 1-0 up with 11 minutes to go before half time, and in 8 minutes before the end of the game, Adriano Moke made it 2 and gave us the 3 points. I had 9 shots to their 5. I had 5 on target to their none. They had 54% of the possession. Here's where it all goes wrong. I drew 1-1 at home to Gainsborough. Mark Jones put Gainsborough 1-0 up in the 21st minute. Jordan Fagbola pulled us level with 2 minutes into the second half. However, we weren't able to get a winning goal and end up drawing 1-1. I had 7 shots to their 6. They had 2 on target to my 1, and we had 50% of the possession. We then followed that up with a 2-2 draw against Leamington. This was really annoying because Christian Davis put us 1-0 up in the 15th minute. and we went in 1-0 up at half time. 60 seconds into the second half, I went 2-0 up through Christian Dennis. However, we weren't able to hold on as an Ian Ormson own goal 5 minutes later pulled Leamington back to 1 goal behind, and then 12 minutes later a Paul McCone goal pulled Leamington level. Neither team were able to get anything after that, so we ended up drawing 2-2, and you can see Leamington probably would have been disappointed with that. 16 shots to my 6, they had 9 on target to my 3, and they had 51% of the possession. We then followed that up with a 3-2 defeat against Vauxhall. Lewis Barnes put Vauxhall 1-0 up in the 13th minute. Ashley Scott made it 2 in the 66th. However, we fought back as Canado made it 2-1 in the 72nd, and with 9 minutes to go, Phil Jevons made it 2 apiece. However, Lewis Barnes 4 minutes later put Vauxhall back in front. We weren't able to get the third goal and went on to lose 3-2. It was 14 shots to 13 in their favour. They had 10 on target to my 4, and it's 50% of the possession. We then followed that up with a 2-0 defeat at Stalybridge. Jamar Dobson put Stalybridge 1-0 up in the 25th minute, and then 2 minutes before half time made it 2 to give them a decisive goal and the win. It was 11 shots to 6 in their favour, 7 on target to their 1, with 53% of the possession in their favour as well. We did win some games actually after that last league game, mainly in the FA Cup. I beat Arsley 3-2. They almost ended up messing this up. Adriano Moke in the 29th minute put Stockport put us 1-0 up. Dylan Maguire 5 minutes later levelled it for Arsley, and we went in 1-0 at half time. Austin Domarney put Arsley 2-1 up in the 65th minute. However, just 60 seconds later, Junior Konodu made it 2-2. And then 4 minutes later, Ian Howard made a 3-2 to us. That was a decisive goal, and we were into round 3. They had 16 shots to my 15. I had 6 on target to their 4, and they had 56% possession. I lost at home to Worcester in the next league game. A Justin Cochran goal in added on time in the first half put them 1-0 up. And with 32 minutes to go, Danny Glover made it 2. And we weren't able to do any type of fight back, and ended up losing 2-0. They had 15 shots to my 10, 9 on target to my 3, and then 51% of the possession. We then followed that up with another win, a 1-0 win at Biggleswade in the FA Cup third qualifying round. Christian Dennis giving us the decisive goal with just 10 minutes to go. So we were into the final qualifying round, which is where the board wanted us to get to, if I remember rightly. It was either a fourth round or they might have been the first round, to be fair. But I had 18 shots to their 12. I had 6 on target to their 3, and it was 56% possession to them. I then drew 1-1 with Gloucester. Jamie Hand put us 1-0 up in the 6th minute. However, Lewis Hogg goal with 17 minutes to go pulled them level, and neither team were able to get that decisive goal, and we ended up with a 1-1 draw. It was 10 shots to 9 in their favour. They had 5 on target to my 3, with 57% of the possession. We then got absolutely hammered at Barrow. O'Donnell put them 1-0 up in the 8th minute. Nicholas Rushton then doubled their tally in the half-hour mark. And on the stroke of half-time, Phil Midworth pulled us back to 2-1. However, the goal scoring wasn't finished as Alex Meechan then put Barrow 3-1 up in added on time. And then straight after half-time, Dan Parkinson made it 4-1. And then with 20 minutes to go, Barrow ended up getting a 5th and getting a very decisive win. It was 13 shots to 7 in their favour. They had 7 on target to my 5, and they had 54% of the possession. We then followed that up by going out in the 4th and final qualifying round of the FA Cup, losing 2-1 at Corby, who, if I remember rightly, are actually in the lower divisions than the Squirrel North and South. James McPike put them 1-0 up in the 15th minute. The 22nd minute, Montel Brookham made it 2, and we went in 2-0 down at half-time. With just 2 minutes to go of the game, Jevons pulled one back. However, it was too little too late, as they held out to make it through to the FA Cup and a bit of prize money. We had 9 shots each. They had 6 on target to my 3, and they had 58% of the possession. We then followed that up with a 2-0 defeat at Histon. Declan Hunt in the 26th minute, and in a Claudio Hoban goal in the 79th minute put Histon 2-0 up, and they went on to take the points. It's 14 shots to 9 in their favour, 7 on target to my 4 with 57% of the possession. And my final game was a 1-1 draw at home to Leek in the third qualifying round of the FA Trophy. Eddie Beckett put Leek in front in the half-hour mark. I then equalised in the 77th minute through Christian Dennis. However, I wasn't able to snatch a victory and went out. Well, we stayed in, but we had to go to a replay. It was 16 shots to 12 in my favour. I had 6 on target to their 5, and we had 50-50 possession. I thought I was going to make it to the league game. To be fair, I was quite surprised I hadn't got sacked after the Barrow game, Corby or Histon. Just have a quick look at the first round, and see who we would have got if we can beat Leek. And it is there, home to Halifax. Nice. So Stockport are 19th in the table, 1 point clear of Colwyn Bay in the relegation zone. The fixtures are all over the place a little bit due to the FA Cup qualifying rounds. So what I'm just going to actually look at, I don't know if I really want to do this, is actually have a look at my stats, wherever they are. Oh, there we go. So I had 17 games, won 5, drawn 5, lost 7. 25 goals scored, 32 conceded, win percentage of 29. That's awful. So let's just have a look at the job security. Oh wow, there's not actually that many. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting quite a lot more, because a lot of teams were getting a lot of teams were sacking their managers. Right. What I was going to do, because I was actually expecting a bit more of a selection, was I was actually going to stay on and end this video with me going for a job and maybe getting one. But I don't think I'll do that. I will announce in the next episode who I get, which could be interesting, to be fair, considering it may not actually be anyone. But that would be quite funny. But yeah. And with that case then, leave some comments and subscribe. I'm not too quite sure if leave some likes is the right thing to say. But tune in next time for when I do have a job and I'll just go through the club. Until then guys, take it steady.